WBUR Podcasts, Boston.
I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. Samuele Petruccelli, WBUR's Boston University Fellow. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and it's a pleasure to be on the podcast.
It's great to have you. And you come to us with a story about a severe lack of teachers of color in the state and a collaboration between Lowell Public Schools and UMass Lowell, which aims to address that.
That's right.
So to start us off, quickly tell us about Lowell Public Schools. How big is it? Who makes up the teacher and student populations there? Paint that picture for us.
Sure. So Lowell Public Schools is in northern Massachusetts. It's the sixth largest school district in the state, and it's got a pretty diverse student body. Around 20% of the students are white, and the rest are a mix of Hispanic students, Asian students, Black students. And just like a lot of other school districts in Massachusetts, the teaching staff is overwhelmingly white. Around 9 out of 10 teachers in that school district are white.
So wait, you're telling me about 90% of the teachers in the district are white, but only around 20% of the students are white?
Yes. And in Massachusetts, around 4 in 10 students are people of color. And like I said, in Lowell, upwards of 70% of the students are people of color.
And tell me, why is it so important to address this mismatch in representation between students and teachers?
So in Lowell, because the majority of teachers are white, it's not like students of color necessarily see themselves in the profession. And as one teacher put it to me, Kendra Bauer, you can't be what you can't see.
Okay, so tell us about this program with UMass Lowell.
Sure. So this program is a collaboration between the University of Massachusetts Lowell and the public school district. And it offers college credit to students who participate in this pathway. And around 4 times a year, they enter elementary school classrooms and they're interacting with students. They're making lesson plans. They're reading to students. This program's all about getting them involved in the education field early in the later half of their high school years.
Is there a specific goal they're trying to reach? I'm thinking of a target number by a specific year.
It's early. The partnership only started officially this school year, so it's still getting off the ground. But they're looking to go full steam ahead. How can we match these two populations? How can we match the teaching population with the student population in terms of racial diversity?
You talked to a bunch of students for this, right? What did they have to say about this disparity?
So I spoke with Elizabeth Zahn. She's an Asian American student at Lowell High, and she realized something about all her teachers this year.
Going down the roster right now, all of my teachers are white, and actually that's kind of crazy. Yeah, all of my teachers are white, including any staff and support that I know of.
Wow, so the reality of, who's teaching her every day just hit her in that moment.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like for her, she didn't really realize it until we were speaking about it.
Did you talk to any teachers who expressed concern?
Sure. So I spoke with a teacher, Kendra Bauer. She's white, and she realizes that this gap between teachers and students might actually be turning some students away from entering the profession. She will ask them, she'll say, hey, imagine you're in a classroom and you sit down and you look up at the front of the room and the teacher you see is literally yourself. It's literally you.
And when they think about what that would feel like to have a teacher with the same curly brown hair or the same dark eyes, they get excited about the possibility. And so I say, so why not you? Imagine how you would have loved to have you.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more from Sam.
Did you kill Marlene Johnson?
I think you're one of the first people to have actually asked.
From WBUR and ZSP Media, this is Beyond All Repair, a new podcast about an unsolved murder that will leave you questioning everything.
Somebody should be in jail for murdering my sister.
A woman who's never been believed.
As long as they think I have done this, then they're not looking for who actually did this.
And that's what makes it a cold case.
No, it's a botched case.
And a search for the truth, once and for all.
Wow, it just gets more interesting.
Beyond All Repair. Listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
Be careful. You're digging in a place that's been very peaceful for a while.
Do it anyway. Dig.
And we're back. I want to ask you specifically, Sam, why is it so important for students to see themselves reflected in their teachers?
So research shows that when students of color have a similar race as their teachers, they put more personal effort in their schoolwork, and they have stronger plans after they graduate K through 12, after they graduate high school.
I bet.
I spoke with a student named Lorena Minikowski, who's Brazilian. She talked a little bit about her experiences as a student in Lowell Public Schools.
I remember when I was in elementary school, I was taken out of my class because I only spoke Portuguese. But I feel like it's so much easier to just keep the kids in the class the whole day so they feel like they're included. If you take a student out from the class, they're going to be wondering what they did or why they're being separated from the rest of the students.
Now she's in the education pathway and she's hooked because it's an opportunity for her to maybe be the teacher that she never had and include some students, like maybe a student who only speaks Portuguese. She can be more inclusive in that classroom.
Well, what else is happening at Lowell or even at the state level to try to increase the numbers of teachers of color in Massachusetts?
Sure. So in Lowell, this is actually not the only initiative that the administration has to increase staff of color. They're actually visiting HBCU institutions in Atlanta, as well as some other institutions in Texas, to try and recruit potential graduates of an education program to come start their career in Lowell. And statewide, there is a bill on Beacon Hill that is called the Educator Diversity Act. And advocates say it's an opportunity for professionals who maybe have mastered, let's say, biology. It's a chance for them to enter the education field in an easier step than what previously exists with passing, let's say, a licensure exam. In that same bill, it also allows for teachers who are maybe licensed outside the state of Massachusetts to come into the state and teach in a sort of more easy track than what currently exists.
Well, Sam, thank you for this story and taking the time to talk to us at The Common. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
That's WBUR's Boston University fellow, Samuele Petruccelli. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening to The Common. If you have any thoughts on this episode, feel free to hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok at WBUR The Common, or send us an email at thecommon@wbur.org. I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.